Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Maddie. Nice to meet you. So last week I talked about plants that are easy for beginners. Well, this week I decided to do plants that made me cry in the past. I know it sounds so dramatic, but trust me, it was that dramatic. Before I get started, I do wanted to say that I actually didn't plan on making any videos at all for this week. Our dog, Phantom, you've seen him before. He dislocated his hip on Friday morning. We took him to the pet ER. The doctor there were able to pop his hip back, but on Saturday afternoon, his hip popped out of the hip socket. I don't exactly know what happened. I think it just happened that his hip popped back out. So this is Monday right now. He's at a clinic. They're actually doing an FHO surgery on his hip joint. So that's what's happening today. But yeah, I didn't really want to do this video, but I figured there really isn't anything I can do. Julio is with Zoe right now. Julio needed to run some errands, so he took Zoe with him. And I just decided to make a video because I also want to take my mind off things. I've just been a mess since Friday. I've just been super worried and anxious. So right now, just to try to take my mind off things, I decided to make this video. Anyways, so let's get started with plants that have made me cry in the past. Let's start with the one that was not super bad, but it was kind of bad. My Caleithia mycoyana. I actually got this for my birthday haul last year, and she hasn't grown, like legit. Like I think I only had one or two new leaves since getting her, and she's just not doing the greatest. Like even right now, she only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is now living in my IKEA cabinet, and I know that's the only problem actually. The only problem with my mycoyana is because my place is not humid enough. And this plant is really, really finicky with a low humidity place. So you really want to put this plant in a high humidity environment. That's why it was not doing the greatest after I brought it home from the nursery. I tried everything. I literally tried everything. I even grabbed like a Ziploc bag and covered it to kind of make my own humidity dome. It didn't do anything. Like it wasn't actually working. Like I think it's because the air was not circulating enough. I think that was the reason why. But since moving it to the IKEA cabinet, I haven't lost a leaf, but I also haven't gotten new leaves. Or I did got new leaf, like 2 new leaves. That's it. Like right now, I think it's in dormant period. I have no idea. So yeah, this one's made me cry in the past. I'm still I'm not over it yet, but I'm still like sad over it. What is going on here? All right, so for the next one, I don't have a list for this one. I don't have like the one from like the worst to like the easiest or whatever. But let's go with my Caleithia repens. At first, when I got this, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is super, super cute. I just thought that it was I just thought it was the cutest thing, and it was super full when I got it. Also, I got this from my last year's birthday haul, and then I brought it home and I wasn't sure how to care for it other than bottom feeding it. So that's what I did, but it was not doing the greatest on me. It was just like, it kept on wanting to die until, again, I move it to my IKEA cabinet. That's when it started thriving. Right now, though, I do have some patches because I moved it to my dresser where it's not humid at all. And it got crispy and I kind of forgot about it. And when I try to save it, when I try to take out all the crispy leaves, turns out that was everything. So I literally like just uprooted the whole thing. But I was able to kept some cuttings out of this, and then I just repotted it. I did 3 methods of propagation with this: soil prop, leca prop, and sphagnum prop. The sphagnum prop was doing the best out of all the 3 props, but I killed that sphagnum prop because I thought I was getting spider mites, but turns out it wasn't spider mites. It was just mycelium in the sphagnum. There's like lots and lots of mycelium, and I thought it was spider mites eggs. So I dunk the cuttings, the rooted cuttings, mind you. They were all like, it was amazingly rooted, and they were just like a ton of like new growth. I dumped that rooted cutting in hydrogen peroxide water. So it was 1 part hydrogen peroxide and 2 parts water, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to, I'll put it down here if I got it wrong. But I kind of left it in that solution for about like 15 minutes and I took it out, but I ended up killing it. It was so fried. It was just, I ended up tossing it out, but it's been growing again. But yeah, I kind of cried over it, but not so much as this guy. Again, I also made a video of this guy. Well, not really a video, more like an update when I cut this guy. It was not this small and short. It was actually a lot longer, but because I wanted to introduce more growth, I just wanted to be a lot more fuller and I wanted to get more cuttings. I made a bunch of cuttings and I'm gonna put the video up here. This one, again, from my birthday haul last year. You know what? I'm gonna put the video up here as well. It was amazing. It was beautiful when I got it. It was so pretty. I loved it so much. But because my house is just so dry, there's just not a lot of humidity going on, it started to die like really quickly. I want to say like probably a month or 2 after I got this plant. After I brought it home, it was dying rapidly, and I even moved it around the house so many times. Like I would put it in my room and then I decided to move it to the bathroom where it's the most humid, right? Obviously, because we showered and there's just a lot of water going on. So we moved it there, but nothing was happening. It was not helping at all. So out of, I don't even remember how many leaves I started with, but I ended up with 1.5 leaf. Actually, no, like both leaves, like both stem, because I only ended up with 2 stems. Both stems, I only had half of leaf on both. Afterwards, I decided to move it to leca. That's when I start seeing new growth. And after that new growth, after my root have developed, I mean, look at that. It's so healthy. It's humongous. The root system on this is humongous. I know I'm gonna have to move this to a bigger leca pot, but I love seeing it on this pot so much. Ever since moving it to leca, it's just been growing, and since that root started to form like crazy, it hasn't stopped growing. I did cut it a lot. Like I cut it all the way up to basically this branch was super long. This one as well. I cut it so that they have 2 on this branch and 3 leaves on this branch. Right now I have 1 growth here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 growth on this stem. And then I have 1, is this a thing? I'm not so sure. Well, 1, 2, 3. Is that right? 4. So I have 4 growth on this stem. This one being the biggest one so far, or the one that's going to unfurl, but the leaf doesn't look like it's gonna grow big. This one, however, looks like it's gonna grow like a pretty size like leaf. So yeah, after moving it to Leica, I did leave it in the IKEA cabinet, but I do think what saved it the most was the Leica, because it just, for me, at least in my house, it just didn't do well with soil. So Leica saved her. But yeah, I was so stressed over that plant because I love it so much. I think it's such a beautiful plant, especially how big the leaves are. I'm still in love with this plant. All right, the next one is my pilea. I actually don't remember what it's called exactly. I know it's watermelon pilea, or right? Peperomia, the watermelon one. I'll put the name down here. I bought this off Etsy. When I got the cutting, or when I got the plant, it was a 4-inch, no, it was in a 2-inch pot. So it was a fairly small pot, but it had several leaves, foliage, and it was healthy. It was actually pretty healthy. But for whatever reason, when I have it here, so I actually had this in the kitchen for several months, it was just not doing great. It kept on like, yeah, it just wants to die on me. I kept on like having to trim the leaves that are not doing the greatest. And I was kind of left with like baby leaves, but they weren't growing. They were stuck as a baby for a few weeks. And then I decided to move it to Leica because I've seen what the Leica did with my Scindapsus pictus exotica. So I decided to move this one to Leica as well. Ever since moving it to Leica though, honestly, I want to say it only takes about a month until I saw amazing growth. Like now, it's been like, it's just been growing. Like I haven't seen this plant, like, I mean, yeah, I've seen it obviously, but I haven't really like bring it down from the top shelf and like obviously examine it. But it has so much growth since 2 weeks ago. Like I actually thought, like the last time I picked it up, I was like, oh my God. I was just like, holy shit, you know, like there's so many new leaves, and I was just in so much awe. But yeah, I was actually kind of scared for this because I wanted it so much. I thought since it's like the cousin of the Pilea peperomioides, so I thought, oh yeah, no, this should be easy. This shouldn't be hard, right? Oh boy, was I wrong thinking that way, because it was not like my Pilea peperomioides. It was hard for me, at least. It was so hard. So now she's just gonna be living in the IKEA cabinet forever. And she's just gonna thrive in there. Also, I can't show you the root, but if you look at the side, there's so many roots like sticking on the side of the glass jar. Also, I got this glass jar from IKEA if you guys want it. I think it's so cute. It's perfect for it. On these though, I didn't drill any hole. So like this doesn't have a hole, but I made sure that the roots are not sitting in water when I transfer it to Leica. I gave it a little bit of a good distance from the water and the root, just so I don't kill it. Okay, next plant. You know what? I'm gonna save the worst plant for last. I think that sounds like a good idea, right? Okay, so the next plant is my Scindapsus trubii moonlight. I still don't know what is going on with this plant. I moved this to Leica a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was soil potted, and then I moved it because, again, I thought it was spider mites, but it wasn't spider mites. It was just mycelium. I just had a lot of mycelium, in one of my philodendron soil. And I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I have spider mites. I have an infestation. So I was just like freaking out, and I decided to take all the plants that are around, or that was near that philodendron and that was like touching that philodendron. I moved it and I cleaned the root. I made sure I doused it in neem oil and castor oil soap solution, and I went to town with it. Also, I'm gonna link that video up here, how I make that solution, how I fight just pests and bugs. But yeah, I just doused this plant in that, and then afterwards I moved it to leca because I thought, you know what, all my leca plants, actually no, just kidding, I don't want to say all my leca plants because some of them were not doing the greatest. We'll talk about that in a bit. But most of my leca potted plants have been doing amazing, so I thought this should be too, right? Like, there's no exception. I was wrong. I mean, I don't know if the roots just still trying to adjust or whatever, but this one have been curling on me like it's thirsty. I did water this. Like, I would water this not often just because it's in leca, but I want to say I watered this, or at least like I washed the leca, like just like kind of douse it with water sometime last week. But yeah, like right now this leaf is curling. This leaf is just, it's so soft and like it's curling. I don't know why. There's some in the back too, and it's just yellowing. This one is crispy, so God knows what's wrong with this. This was living in Zoe's room for a little bit, and then I moved it out to the living room just because if you guys don't know, Zoe and Julio started a YouTube channel. I'll link their YouTube channel down in the description below. But I wanted to show off my plants in their video. So every week I would switch my plants around and put them in the room where Zoe and Julio would record their videos. And yeah, in a way to decorate their room too. But yeah, so this was living in that room for a little bit, and then I decided to move it out, and so yeah, to switch the plants around. I guess this would be the plant this wasn't a plant that made me cry in the past. This is the plant that's making me cry. Because yeah, I still don't know what's going on. So if you have any idea, let me know down in the comment section below. I will take any advice from anyone who knows what's up with this plant. Anyways, let's move on to the next plant. All right, so I have my alocasia Mayan mask. This one was just, oh my God. Last year, I bought a few alocasias from Gabriella's plant. I'm gonna link the video up here. I have so many videos for reference, but I bought a few alocasias, actually a lot of alocasias. I lost my black velvet. I lost my, shoot, I don't even know how many I lost. So the black velvet is just completely gone. And then I have another one that I think I'm losing. That one is also in leca. Literally all of my alocasias are in leca. But yeah, alocasias they're the bane of my existence. Actually, just kidding. No, I love them so much. Like, I love them. I want them to thrive, but for whatever reason, they are not. I mean, I know. It's not for whatever reason. I know. It's because my house is just not humid enough. That's why they're not thriving. But all of my alocasias are in leca. The roots are great. Honestly, like, they're forming amazingly. This was an old leaf. I don't know if you can see it. This was an old leaf. And then this is a new leaf. I don't want to bend it so much. Okay, let me just... This is a new leaf. This was an old leaf. You can see a lot of just like... I think it was... My main problem was that they're too tall for my IKEA cabinet, that the leaves are starting to get burned from my grow light. So that's like one of my main problems, but also because it was just not humid enough out here. So they started dying because of that. So this one is bouncing back. I'm so glad. But it did give me so much grief in the past. And then next plant. One, I only have 2 plants. No. Okay, so let me backtrack. I try to put all of my alocasia in the cabinet because I know it's humid. However, this one is actually doing pretty great outside of the cabinet. So I have my dark star here. This one is starting to die off on me because it's an old leaf. So you can see it's starting to yellow, and it just kind of snapped earlier right now when I was bringing it out. But this one right here in the middle, this leaf is a new leaf. So yeah, let's just shake it a little bit to make them think that they're in the wild. The root, amazing. The root is growing amazingly. I have so much root on the bottom. At first I was just a little bit worried because I don't know, maybe the root was like growing on the inside of the like in the middle part of the pot, not on the outside, not like my last plant that I'm gonna be talking about here. But yeah, like this leaf literally just came out and just grew, I want to say the last week. But before that, they were just living out here in front of me. I have a grow light in front of me, and it was just sitting there with my Monstera. And I thought it was doing great. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, maybe I can have some of my alocasia out in the living room. This was kind of the exception. This one, yeah, for some whatever reason, it's doing great. It is in LECA, and I think that's part of the reason why it's been doing great, because they're living in LECA. So yeah, I want to say I like all my plants that are not doing so great, they're doing great now thanks to LECA. Okay, so I'm gonna bring last plant I have on today's video. Okay, we have the metalhead. Oh boy. So the metalhead, oh my god, she's kind of heavy. This was one of like the biggest leaf. I don't know why it's bending like that. I think it's because it's just way too heavy. This is a new leaf. And this is another leaf. I had another one that I just cut off because it was just dying because it was one of the oldest leaf. Again, this is also in LECA. This is one of the ones that absolutely had to stay in the IKEA cabinet. But because it's starting to overgrow the cabinet, I'm just gonna put it on my head. Like Totoro. Because I don't want it to snap. So this was also, oh my god, you know what, that's not working. This was giving me so much grief. Like oh my gosh, I was just so stressed out over this one because I love it so much. But it just kept on dying on me, and like it was not doing the greatest until I moved it to LECA. Like it started to grow like this. But now this actually is living in my bathroom. Okay, so in my bathroom, it is the only humid place that I have other than my IKEA cabinet that I can have this growing in. So that's why it's now living in my bathroom. I know it's huge, but thankfully I have enough space there for me to put this plant, this ginormous plant. I don't know if you can see it, but the root is also as crazy as the other ones. She thick. The root is so thick. Actually, I want to say this plant, yeah, this was the one, this alocasia was the first one that showed impressive root system when I moved it to LECA. It was just like, automatically shoots out to the sides and like start finding water, and it was fun to watch. I love watching it. Honestly, that's why part of the reason why I have all my LECA or almost all of my leca in glass jars is because I want to see the root. I want to watch it. Yeah, it's because of that. That's it for today's video. These are the plants that have made me cry in the past. Some are still making me cry. A lot of them are actually doing great that I'm not crying over them anymore. For instance, this guy. But yeah, if you guys have any other explanation or like tips or tricks on a bunch of these plants, let me know in the comment section below. I definitely still need help with my alocasia. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, I love alocasia so much, but I'm still not the greatest at alocasias. I just don't know how I can grow them, have them, without having the old leaves dying on me. You know what I mean? Because right now, like, at most, I only have 3 leaves. At most. Like, every time. Like, I feel like this one is starting to die now. From my metalhead, and then you saw my dark star, and then my Mayan mask. Right now I only have 2 leaves. So yeah, any comments, any tips or tricks are greatly appreciated. I don't mind if you guys have a better method of growing your plants and you think that my method is just like completely off. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm still learning. I'm not an expert on houseplants yet. So before I end this video, I just want to thank everyone for watching and for supporting me. But yeah, especially right now with Phantom being sick, with him having an injured leg, I will be pushing back my birthday celebration, my birthday plant haul, to the end of June. It is what it is. I can't do much about that. I don't want to leave Phantom with anyone while, you know, I go out and about looking and buying new plants. Like, I know I just won't have fun knowing that he's somewhere else and he's in pain and he needs help. So for my birthday, I'm just gonna, you know, have a low-key night at home. I'm just gonna have a chill night until, I want to say, the end of June. That's when I'll be doing my birthday haul. If you guys have nurseries in Denver that you guys think are super cute and you guys want me to check out, you still have time, and you still have time to let me know down in the comment section below. Wow. I said all that without wanting to cry. Not because I'm gonna be like, not because I won't be able to do my birthday haul on my birthday, but because, I don't know, I'm just so worried about Phantom. You know, like, he's been my baby for 8 years. And prior to Zoe, like, we've had him for 5 years, just us, just the 3 of us. So yeah, he's my baby. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification icon. I will see everyone on the next video. Bye.